Well, this is a great story today, and it was brought to us by Sergeant Sean Higdon, who's the Southeast Area Command, where today's Friday's hero, Timothy Wuffbrandt, with the Albuquerque Police Department, had a great contact with one of our citizens. He basically came in contact with a 12-year-old young man on his birthday out in the Southeast Area Command. And it was an afternoon on September 18th, and he was flagged down in a neighborhood, basically responding to a residential burglary call. And as he started to investigate the call and handle the investigation related to it, he came in contact with a 12-year-old boy, Brian Diaz Alvarez. And he was told, basically, that it was Brian's birthday, but unfortunately his bike had been stolen. And it kind of struck him, obviously, that it was a sad thing to happen on a young guy's birthday. And so what he did was he made arrangements to kind of go and pick up and buy and purchase a new bike on his own and bring it to that little 12-year-old boy so that his birthday wasn't ruined. When we heard about it, Sergeant Higdon basically said he'd never seen anybody with a bigger heart that reaches out to people in the community. And obviously, when you take your own money, your own time, go do that to, bring a smile to a 12-year-old's face, that's a pretty personal act and selfless act. He serves the city well. Got that replacement bike, and it was a perfect reflection of his kind and compassionate character. That's the reason why Officer Timothy Wuffbrandt is this week's City Friday's hero. So let's give him a hand. I just want to kind of point out, sometimes I look for quotes when I know I'm going to do these, and last night, because of the mayor's voice and laryngitis, I found a pretty interesting quote that kind of reflects on Officer Wuffbrandt, which is, "Living is the art of loving, loving is the art of caring, caring is the art of sharing, and sharing is the art of living. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else." And that quote was from Booker T. Washington, American educator, and also author of Up From Slavery. Officer Wuffbrandt, lifted himself up, but he lifted up so many other people. He lifted up his fellow officers in the Albuquerque Police Department, the department itself, his chief, the city of Albuquerque, and our entire community. And that's something that happens quick in your mind, figuring out what to do. And it doesn't come from here, it comes from there. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Tim. Chief, you want to say a couple of words?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Perry. You got to admit, this guy is so full of life, and when you look at him, you can just see the pride he takes in his job, but more important, the heart that he has. I've had an occasion to run into him on many serious incidents, and that's what you see all the time, is the joy that comes out of his face, is expressed so often to the community he serves, and we're very, very proud of him. If I may, I'd like to share some personal joy in their life, is that they are expecting a child. And one of the things I'd like to say is that what a great example of two wonderful people. This officer, Tim, with his wife, and you can tell that child is going to have a wonderful upbringing, two wonderful parents, because before this child was born, they show the love and compassion that is so important for us to be a community. So, Tim, thank you.
Great job.
So, Officer Wuffbrandt, we commissioned a coin. It's the Friday's Heroes coin. We give this away on Fridays to folks like yourself who are going above and beyond the call of duty. And I just want to say something to the community. Every week we talk about the men and women of the Albuquerque Police Department who are lifting up our community, and we just ask our community to please lift them up as well. We appreciate your leadership, your heart for service. We appreciate you just doing the simple act of making a young man's day better. That's a simple thing that makes a huge difference, and that young man will remember that for the rest of his life, and he will be throughout his life at decision points, and what you did for him will impact the decisions that young man makes until he's an old man. So we appreciate you very much. Have a wonderful holiday, and tell us who's with you today.
This is my wife, Lily.
Nice to see you. And you both did good, so congratulations to you, and we appreciate you. God bless.
this Employee of the Week award goes to Norma Chavez. And I always kind of give a one-liner about what the story is about. And when I was reading this story, it goes under the adage about if you want a job done right, give it to the busiest person in the office, because that's usually who really picks up the self-starting nature of, taking things and the motivation to do it. Norma is an employee of the Risk Management Division of Department of Finance Administration, and Mr. Ed and Rebecca Sonvog basically nominated Norma for this award. It shows really a willingness like no other to lend a helping hand. Norma has consistently shown enthusiasm, initiative, self-starting while performing her regular duties, but most importantly, she performed her job in risk management with great accuracy. During downtimes, Norma has volunteered to help her peers get back into the workflow when the department experienced a software change or other types of initiatives that were going on. And she still was able to maintain her regular duty assignments and the workload associated with it. Earlier this year, when the Risk Management Division had to consolidate office space, they lost, as a result of that, storage area, and they had to condense their file storage. So they had a lot of tort claim files, lawsuits, sensitive types of paperwork that was in the department's common area. And at the time, the offsite file storage vendor that risk management contracts with wanted to triple the cost for the offsite storage. And so Norma volunteered basically to try to find a solution to that, get the exposed files scanned, and maintain the confidentiality of those records, all while still having to do her regular duties. Norma went an extra mile by volunteering to prepare box transmittals for those 23 years of files, and it spared the need to use that vendor and kind of get gouged for what we thought was a little bit of an excessive price, 3 times what we had been paying. Norma's always punctual and positive, really exemplifies the word team player, self-starter, and go-to person. And you've got a great team of folks you work with down there. I interact with them fairly regularly. It's one of those things that's a behind-the-scene operation that's very critical to the overall, success of the city and the protection of our assets. You all do a great job, but I can see why, as a team, you do a good job when you have players that are such good folks as you and do such great work. So for those reasons, Norma Chavez is recognized as this week's City of Albuquerque Employee of the Week. Let's give her a hand and ask Peter to say a couple words.
Well, I think Rob kind of covered all the bases already. Norma's been with us for almost a year and a half, spent the first few months as a temp. We recognized her qualities and her value to us, and she became a permanent employee just about a year ago. Shows up every day, does whatever you ask her to do, that's her normal work, and then volunteers to take on more in the interest of learning and supporting the organization, and she is truly valued by us. Her family's here. We have Edgar and Aaron and Giselle. Her husband is working and couldn't make it today, but we're just very proud to have you, and thanks for being with us. All right.
And thanks for bringing your family in today, too. They're a great-looking family. Thanks so much, Mayor.
So Norma, what we do, and it looks like I'm glad you brought the real bosses with you today. Glad you came to support your mom. That's awesome. Way to go. And way to set a great example for both your family and for the employees of the City of Albuquerque. So we have an Employee of the Week certificate, a letter that goes in your personnel file, and then we have an Employee of the Week mug that we give on these occasions. And just thanks for being a great civil servant. This is we have 6,000 employees at the City of Albuquerque approximately, and one of the things I learned very quickly, and I knew this coming in as the mayor, but it really is affirmed to me each and every day that I come to work. These folks come and they do their best to make your lives better. And they take your tax dollars and they put them to work and they give them back to you in the form of critical services. They keep you safe, they keep you well, and in this case with risk management, we're a big organization, and risk management is a very important thing that happens around here, and to have this caliber of employee that has this amount of gumption and this amount of caring for your work, we just appreciate you very much, so thank you.